Chapter 31. After the live stream was paused, Li Jianyu made a simple summary and announced the statistics of the morning's live stream. Our highest number of viewers reached more than 6 million. We're number 1 for the same time period. Thank you for your hard work, teachers. The staff applauded. But Li Jianyu changed the topic. After all, today is Saturday, and Daddy Sure. Ahem, Teacher Sure has his own popularity. If our content is not attractive, even with the gimmick of a live variety show, it will be difficult to maintain the popularity. Although Yan Zhenhua was only a flying guest, he still gave a suggestion. You chose a very good venue. I think the production team can give out missions, and when the guests complete them, they can receive a certain reward. For example, pick a basket of cherries and get a dish for lunch. Thank you, Director Yan. We'll take your suggestion seriously. Then, Li Jianyu, the scriptwriter, producer, and others went for a discussion. Xiangyi asked, Senior Sure, Director Yan, what do you want to eat for lunch? Yan Zhenhua thought the production team would order takeout, so he said casually, Nanqing's crayfish is quite famous. How about crayfish? Xiangyi looked at Shi Sui. The young actor nodded slightly and said gently, I'm fine with anything. What an easy child to raise. As for Yan Nai, Xiangyi ignored him. She wouldn't waste her feelings or time on people who hated her. Yan Nai, who was about to express his opinion, he felt like he was being targeted. The phone in his sweatpants kept vibrating. Yan Nai hesitated and found a quiet corner before taking it out. The messages were all from one person. Sister Wan Yan. Big brother, are you there yet? Sister Wan Yan. Wow, I'm watching your live stream. You're so handsome today. Sister Wan Yan. Actually, I didn't want to talk to you about this, but Xiangyi, she's really. I'm not trying to drive a wedge between us. She and I used to be good friends, but because I advised her not to seduce Shi Yingdi, there were a few screenshots below. Qin Wanyan tried to contact Xiangyi via WeChat, SMS, and other methods, but Xiangyi didn't reply. Yan Nai pursed his lips in distress. His father was busy and his mother was strict. Qin Wanyan's appearance was like a gentle and caring big sister. He was especially dependent on Qin Wanyan and almost saw her as his own sister. In the past year, Qin Wanyan and Xiangyi had become good sisters and best friends. He'd seen Xiangyi a few times, and indeed didn't have a good impression of Xiangyi. She was vain, boastful, vain, and had a bad attitude towards the service staff. More importantly, she had once treated him. Yan Nai's face paled as he recalled that scene, and the nausea welled up again. But he had a sensitive and self-abased personality. He didn't dare say anything harsh to Xiangyi, so after thinking about it, Yan Nai thought of the most harsh sentence he could think of, helplessness. Sister, don't worry. I won't eat anything she touches. Chapter 32. On the other end of the screen, Qin Wanyan was speechless. The corners of her mouth twitched uncontrollably on her exquisitely made-up face. Was this Yan Nai an idiot? She had said so much because she wanted him to deal with Xiangyi. It would be best if he had a conflict with her. If that happened, the netizens would definitely curse Xiangyi to death. But he didn't eat anything she touched. What kind of threat was this? At the Xiang residence. When he saw Xiangyi begin to process the crayfish, Yan Zhenhua was surprised. Young lady, you can cook? A little, Xiangyi said calmly. The crayfish were originally prepared for Xiang Feng. They were soaked in clear water in advance and added salt and a suitable amount of white vinegar. At this time, they were almost done spitting out sand. Xiangyi used a small brush to scrub the shell and pincers one by one. She cut off the cheeks and heads and removed the veins. Everything was handled so neatly that even people with obsessive-compulsive disorder and mysophobia couldn't find fault with it. Yan Zhenhua looked at her skillful movements and knew that her cooking wouldn't be bad. He praised, "Not bad, young lady. There aren't many young people who can cook these days." Yan Nai secretly clenched his fists. Although he loved crayfish, he would never eat Xiangyi's cooking. Not even a bite. Xiangyi's movements were meticulous and neat. It didn't take long for her to process all the crayfish. She asked, "Director Yen, Senior Sure, can you eat spicy food?" Yen Zhenhua rubbed his stomach and looked at Xiangyi with a much kinder gaze. "Aura Nai and I can eat spicy food. Shi Sui can't. At most, she can only eat slightly spicy food." In the entertainment industry, he was probably the only one who dared to call Shi Sui a child. Xiangyi nodded. "Okay, then I'll make 2 flavors. One is spicy and the other is minced garlic. I'll cook some noodles. Shall we eat noodles later?" Okay. This is good." The soup of the crayfish was the soul. It was perfect for noodles. After Li Jianyu and the others finished their discussion, they realized that Xiangyi had already processed the ingredients. The cameraman, Old Zhang, smacked his lips. He was still thinking about the bowl of seafood porridge. Seeing that the ingredients had been properly prepared, he couldn't help but whisper, "Director Li, do you think Xiangyi really knows how to cook? It looks pretty decent to me." Li Jianyu was also confused at this moment. He had never heard that Xiangyi could cook. Click, the switch of the stove is turned on, and the blue flame jumps up. Xiangyi calmly heats up the oil, puts in scallions, ginger, and garlic, and stirs up the fragrance. After the oil is heated up, she adds a piece of self-made beef oil hot pot base. The overbearing and barbaric aroma quickly fills everyone's nostrils. There was only one word to describe it: fragrant. Old Zhang and Li Jianyu looked at the little girl with thin arms and legs in a daze as she stir-fried a big pot of crayfish. She even tossed 2 ladles. "Everyone in position, get ready to shoot. Little song, come over and shine." Fei Fei confirmed the broadcast equipment. Old Zhang, Jing Guo, Xiao Sen. There was no need to say the rest. Old Zhang and the other 3 cameramen had already skillfully found their positions. *Slurp, I'm so hungry. Good night. Chapter 33. The 3 cameras were filming from different angles. The netizens who were desperately urging the official Weibo account to update suddenly received a notification from the Xingchen app. The streamer you follow, 2 Under One Roof, has started broadcasting. Click to join the live stream. Everyone, oh? It's finally starting. We can see Shi Ingdi again. And our adorable little brother Yen Nai. However, after clicking into the live stream, a very impactful scene appeared. Old Zhang had resigned from Miao TV at the same time as Li Jianyu. He had many years of experience in photography and had even filmed food documentaries before. Hence, he naturally chose to film from the perspective of food close-up. Xiangyi threw in a handful of onions, and the aroma rose by a few degrees. She then added in some crayfish butter. After the butter and chili hot pot base melted, she added in the slightly deep-fried crayfish. Sizzle. Even through the screen, they could smell the aroma wafting over. Huh? Did I enter the wrong channel? What am I seeing? The vase fairy is cooking? Is the AI head replacement technology so advanced now? Can they replace the vase fairy's head with another chef's? What the hell? This is the vase fairy herself. Did she toss a ladle? Toss a ladle? This big iron pot must weigh more than 10 kilograms, right? F*CK, she really knows how to cook. Ah, the crayfish are turning red. I'm swallowing my saliva like crazy. Xiangyi turned on the fire, and the crayfish were quickly fried until their tails curled up and they turned red. She added water, sprinkled a handful of green pepper and dried red pepper, and covered the pot with a lid to simmer. She turned on another stove. Seeing that she was silent, Li Jianyu hurriedly cued her. What are you going to do next? Garlic crayfish, Xiangyi answered calmly, as if she didn't care about the camera. She glanced at the crayfish and then looked away. Li Jianyu's heart skipped a beat. If she didn't say anything, would the rate of abandonment soar? Little did he know that the number of viewers in the live stream was increasing rapidly. The netizens who slept in the morning or those who were on break didn't get to watch the live stream for the first time. It was lunchtime and it was also the weekend, which happened to be the time of peak traffic. Why would they watch a video while eating? Of course, he had to look at the food. The girl on the screen was beautiful without makeup. Her skin was fair, and her slender wrists looked weak. However, she could easily lift a big iron pot and operate 2 stoves at the same time. This alone was enough to attract attention. Most importantly, the crayfish she stir-fried looked too delicious. The atmosphere in the live broadcast room was surprisingly harmonious. Why are these hands suddenly so black? Clever and virtuous, what kind of fairy is this? Slurp, my tears are falling from the corners of my mouth. Woo Sister E, I want to go to your house to eat crayfish. I don't eat much, 1 basin is enough. At one point, the camera cut to the living room to broadcast the interaction between Shi Sui and the Yen father and son. Although the comments were also very active, they were far less active than Xiongyi's cooking. There were also a large number of netizens who strongly requested that the live broadcast be switched back to the kitchen. Li Jianyu, we seem to be a lifestyle variety show? How did it become a gourmet live stream? Forget it, gourmet food is also a part of life. He pointed the camera at Xiongyi with a clear conscience. At this moment, the 2 pots of steaming hot crayfish were served one after another. Chapter 34. Xiongyi didn't just pour the crayfish into the plate. Instead, she lowered her head and carefully arranged the dishes. Her fair and soft hands seemed to be performing a magic trick as she arranged the 2 large pots of crayfish into the shape of flower petals. She took out a transparent glass bottle and gently shook her wrist, embellishing it with white sesame seeds. The 2 cold dishes, crispy cucumber salad and sour and spicy lemon radish, were also decorated with carrots carved into flowers. In the live stream. Oh my god, it looks even better with this arrangement. Amazing, it's so King amazing. She instantly made it look like I can't afford it. I just ordered crayfish takeout and there's still 40 minutes to go. I'm about to cry. Oh my god, she actually made 2 cold dishes and even stir-fried some vegetables. What kind of logical planning ability is this? You're exaggerating. She just knows how to cook. Which of the chefs in the East isn't better than her? That's right, what's the point of making it so fancy? Who has so much time and energy to arrange dishes? Do I have to learn carving just to eat? Eh? Are you crazy? You're living a rough life, but you don't allow others to be refined? The live comments were a mess, but in reality, it was a joyous occasion. Yen Zhenhua called Yen Nai over to serve the dishes while he himself was itching to cook some scrambled eggs with tomatoes. He happily carried it out and placed it next to the crayfish. Come, I'll add another dish for you kids. Thank you, Director Yen. The location for the meal was in a pavilion in the garden, surrounded by a sea of flowers and birds flying past from time to time. It was so beautiful that it looked like a scene from an anime. Yen Zhenhua was craving the moment he smelled the aroma. He didn't even bother to put on disposable gloves as he peeled a spicy crayfish. The rosy and glossy crayfish had been handled very cleanly without a trace of odor or dirt. The moment it entered his mouth, the fresh and spicy soup splashed out between his lips and teeth. The smooth and tender crayfish meat only felt numb after he swallowed it, but more than that, there was an endless aftertaste. You're a good cook, young lady. Yen Zhenhua praised sincerely before immediately peeling another one. Spicy enough. It's strong enough. All chefs would be very happy when their food was recognized, and Xiongyi was no exception. She smiled and pushed a pot of boiled edamame in front of Yen Zhenhua. This is boiled in light salt water. It can relieve the spiciness. Yen Zhenhua's eyes lit up. Crayfish and edamame are a perfect match. Young ladies are particular about people. Shi Sui couldn't eat spicy food, so she chose the garlic-flavored one. The young and handsome man slowly put on his gloves and peeled the prawns in a refined manner, as if he was cutting a steak in a top-notch Western restaurant. After entering the mouth, the aroma of garlic bloomed on the tip of the tongue, but it was not choking. Instead, it blended with the aroma of various spices. The spiciness of the green pepper was neutralized with sugar, and the sweet and spicy garlic taste was easily acceptable. Sui's movements were still graceful, but her eyebrows were relaxed and her long legs were slightly bent. She was in an extremely relaxed posture. The only one who was in pain was Yen Nai. The aroma of the 2 flavors of crayfish wafted into his nose. He was clearly full in the morning, but now his stomach was so empty that he was about to faint from hunger. The young man's clean and slightly protruding Adam's apple kept moving up and down as he struggled wildly between eating and not eating. He looked at Xiangyi with watery eyes. He didn't know if it was because of the smoke in the kitchen, but her appetite wasn't good. After eating 2 mouthfuls, she quietly peeled the crayfish. Her hands were nimble, and in the blink of an eye, she had peeled a small bowl full. Yen Nai's heart skipped a beat. If she peeled the crayfish for me personally, then I can't refuse her kindness. It would be impolite to refuse, and I'll do as she says. Chapter 35. Just one bite. The young man clenched his fists, nervous and expectant. Unexpectedly, Xiangyi placed the bowl of peeled prawns in front of Yen Zhenhua and continued peeling the garlic prawns without a word. Yen Nai. So it wasn't for me. In her beautiful and clear eyes, a trace of disappointment flashed uncontrollably. The live comments were filled with sarcasm and ridicule. Hey, I thought highly of the vase fairy because of her cooking skills, but I didn't expect her to lick Director Yan's boots so easily. It's all about the dishes. Director Yan is a big shot in the film industry after all. She probably wants Director Yan to arrange a role for her, but she doesn't know how bad her acting skills are. She's still peeling? Is she going to give the next one to Shi Yingdi? This woman is so disgusting. Will she die if she doesn't please men? Forgive me for being blunt, but I don't think her cooking is that good. Director Yan and Shi Yingdi probably ate it out of respect. Didn't you see Yen Nai only eating tomato scrambled eggs? In the blink of an eye, Xiangyi finished peeling the second bowl. The netizens who had been scolding her non-stop suddenly entered a strange gambling mode. I bet 50 cents that this bowl is definitely for Shui. No, I think this scheming woman should give it to Yen Nai. I'm dying of laughter. Your brother hasn't even debuted yet. What's the use of her being nice to him? She's definitely going to give it to Shi Yingdi. Some Shui fans might have forgotten that your idol was rejected even when she asked for WeChat. Picking sides at the slightest disagreement was an essential skill for the netizens of this era. Everyone stared at the bowl of prawns peeled by Xiangyi on the screen. Who would give it to Shui? Or Yen Nai, the handsome and charming Yingdi? Or the shy and adorable little brother? Amidst everyone's anticipation, the girl calmly took off her gloves, picked up the prawns, and left. Everyone! Li Jianyu called out to her. Xiangyi, where are you going? Xiangyi looked back at him innocently. I'm cooking noodles and giving Ah Nan some crayfish to try. Everyone! Oh? What plot did I miss? Who is Ah Nan? If I remember correctly, she's the Vase Fairy's manager. Sister Yi's manager is super cute. In the past, there were rumors that Sister Yi didn't treat him well. Are they really that close? Not far away, Ah Nan, who was worried about his father, was stunned. After this memory loss, he was extremely worried that she would say or do something wrong. He had always felt that he had shamelessly freeloaded the previous few meals. It wasn't until a bowl full of garlic shrimp was stuffed into his hands that Anan realized in a daze, she had really changed. She's changed for the better. Inai, on the other hand, looked as if he had been struck by lightning. What? There were so many shrimps, but none of them were peeled for him? Chapter 36. Shui, who was next to him, raised her eyebrows slightly and slowed down her actions of peeling the crayfish. After adjusting the equipment in the afternoon, the live stream was divided into several rooms. The main live stream was similar to a normal variety show, with the camera constantly switching between each person. Each guest also had their own personal live stream, with a cameraman filming the entire process. At present, Shui's personal live stream had the most viewers, followed by the show's main livestream, followed by Yen Nai, Yen Zhenhua, and finally Xiangyi. The comments in Shi Sui's livestream were quite lively. Raising an eyebrow is so cool. I'm reminded of Gija's paranoid pervert role in Rainy Night again. Hey, why do I feel like Shi Sui is a little upset? It's like a kindergarten kid who didn't get his favorite toy. I'm so pissed off. Xiangyi is poisonous. She's peeling crayfish for her manager but not for us. Shi Sui? The vase fairy seducing Shi Yingdi makes me angry, but the vase fairy ignoring Shi Yingdi makes me even angrier. Xiangyi's cameraman was old Zhang. His style was very similar to Li Jianyu's, who liked to shoot beautiful scenes. Thus, he stood a little further away, wanting to take a shot of Xiangyi from afar. Xiangyi happened to not be very sensitive to the camera, so the main camera was still filming Shi Sui and the others. Thus, she chatted with Nan for a while. Is it good? Haha. Nan nodded like he was pounding garlic while stuffing crayfish into his mouth. The delicious food made him less vigilant, and he didn't notice old Zhang in the distance. I thought you were going to peel for Shi Sui. Xiangyi was puzzled. Why should I peel for him? Didn't you say to avoid suspicion? If there were no cameras, Xiangyi would definitely peel for Shi Sui. Shi Sui's figure was naturally tall and straight, but in Xiangyi's eyes, he was too thin, as if the wind could blow him away. She felt like a grandmother looking at her grandson, wishing she could stuff all the delicious food in the house into his mouth. However, Nan said that she had too many haters. In order to avoid trouble, he advised her to keep a distance from Shi Sui. To sum it up in one sentence: interact less, speak less, and it's best if you don't even look at each other. This way, the anti-fans would not be able to use this as a pretext to make a fuss. Nan said vaguely, then why didn't you give it to Yen Nai? I've been looking at you for a long time. If he wants to eat, he can peel it himself. Besides, I don't think he likes crayfish. There was something else that Xiangyi didn't say. Yen Nai didn't hate the food, but her. Huh? Then why did you strip Director Yen? I read the information yesterday. Director Yen has an old illness. Casually peeling a bowl of prawns wasn't a difficult task for her. Moreover, Director Yen was an elder, and the Xiang family had a very good upbringing. The younger generation respected their elders from the bottom of their hearts. The conversation was weak, but it reached the live stream. For a moment. Huh? So our sister peeled crayfish for Director Yen because of his injury? This must be a script. I don't believe the vase fairy would be so kind. But if she's acting, then she's acting. As long as she looks good, it's fine. No, wait. Does pretty sister want to be beautiful on her own? She actually said she wanted to avoid suspicion with Shi Yingdi? Actually, I think the little sister's personality is very good. After peeling the crayfish, she didn't take credit in front of Director Yen or anything. It's just that kind of casual gentleness, but it's very comforting. Most of Xiangyi's live stream was focused on her face. They weren't as resistant to her as the haters. At this moment, everyone's impression of her had risen by a notch. Chapter 37. After feeding Nan, Xiangyi went into the kitchen to get busy. The noodles were handmade buckwheat noodles. Buckwheat was rich in protein, vitamins, and so on, and it wasn't easy to convert to fat in the body. After the buckwheat noodles were cooked, they were soaked in cold water for a while to make the noodles more chewy. At the same time, Xiangyi took out the sour plum soup she made in the morning from the fridge, put it in a transparent kettle, and brought it out. In the pavilion, Yen Zhenhua ate until he was panting. The more he ate, the spicier it became, but the spicier it was, the more he wanted to eat. His throat was burning, but his hands refused to stop. Seeing the sour plum soup in Xiangyi's hands, Yen Zhenhua's eyes lit up. Little girl, you didn't make this yourself, did you? Xiangyi poured him a cup and sprinkled some osmanthus on it. Then she replied gently, yes, I cooked it with dark plum, hawthorn, tangerine peel, licorice, and rock sugar. I just took it out of the fridge, so it's a bit cold. Drink slowly. Yen Zhenhua couldn't wait to taste it. The iced sour plum soup was sweet and sour, and the fragrance of osmanthus seemed to linger between his lips and teeth. His throat, which had been smoking just now, felt much better after drinking a few mouthfuls. At this time, Xiangyi used the serving chopsticks to mix the buckwheat noodles into the crayfish soup. According to the order, she first filled a bowl for Yan Zhenhua, then filled a bowl for Shi Sui, which wasn't spicy. Yan Nai ate scrambled eggs with tomatoes for a long time. It was bad enough that his mouth was tasteless, but it wasn't enough to satisfy his hunger. Boys his age were at the age when they could eat, so after eating half a plate of scrambled eggs with tomatoes, he still felt hungry. He eagerly waited for Xiangyi to fill a bowl with noodles for him and then enthusiastically persuade him. Then he would reluctantly eat a bowl. Just one bowl. This was just an acknowledgement of her cooking skills. It definitely didn't mean that he forgave her. He didn't expect Xiangyi to fill the third bowl for himself. Then she put down the serving chopsticks and glanced at Yan Nai indifferently. This is buckwheat noodles. I don't know if you can get used to it, but you can try it yourself. Her attitude wasn't actually cold, but Yan Nai inexplicably cowered. I'm not hungry. Oh. Xiangyi lowered her head to eat. Weak, helpless, and pitiful Yan Nai. He felt as if there were 8 big words written above Xiangyi's head: eat it or not. If you don't want to eat it, then forget it. If it was someone else, they might have been concerned about Yan Nai. However, Yan Zhenhua was very magnanimous and only cared about eating by himself. Shi Sui looked gentle, but she had a sense of propriety when interacting with others. She would never meddle in other people's business. Therefore, the more Yan Zhenhua enjoyed the meal and the more full he was, the more pain and hunger Yan Nai felt. Burp. Yan Zhenhua, who had eaten his fill, burped. Shi Sui also stopped eating. Xiangyi silently begins to clean up the table. Yan Zhenhua is a little embarrassed. Nai, help your sister clean up. Xiangyi's portion was on the larger side, and Yan Nai didn't eat a single bite. Shi Sui didn't eat spicy food, so there was still some spicy crayfish left. Yan Nai nodded and really began to clean up. This young master, who had never done any household chores, was in a difficult position. Should I throw these away? The question was directed to Xiangyi, but he couldn't bring himself to call her sister. In his heart, the gentle, intellectual, and understanding Qin Wanyan was his sister. Xiangyi. She didn't deserve it. The live comments. Ah Wei is dead. This little puppy is too soft and cute. Boo-hoo, I miss little brother Rua's face, and those little boobs are so cute. Don't throw them away. Give me the address, I'll take a taxi there and eat it all. Ahem. Li Jianyu cleared his throat behind the camera and shamelessly said, Little brother Yan Nai, our production team is willing to take back the leftovers. Huh? Yan Nai was stunned. That's not very good. After all, it was leftovers. Would anyone really be willing to eat them? Chapter 38. The next second, all the staff members on site nodded in unison. Yan Nai. Little did they know that the bowl of seafood porridge in the morning had only whetted everyone's appetite. Later, when they smelled the aroma of the crayfish, if it weren't for their professional ethics, they would have turned into hungry wolves and rushed over to grab the food. Xiangyi, there's still sour plum soup in the fridge. Do you want it? The girl's voice was soft and polite, which sounded like the sound of nature in the ears of the staff. Li Jianyu said without reservation, Yes, yes, yes. Then I'll go get it. No, Teacher Xiangyi, please take a seat. We'll do it ourselves. The audience in the live stream? They were still calling her Xiangyi in the morning, but now they're calling her Teacher Xiangyi. This must be the most unscrupulous program in history. Wait. A slow, low voice reached everyone's ears. Shi Sui's thin lips curled into a lazy, evil smile. How do you calculate the return fee? Huh. Yan Zhenhua reacted quickly and chimed in, That's right, this recycling of old cell phones and home appliances even has to change pots and scissors. The program crew. Damn, how could they forget about these 2 old foxes? After some negotiation, Shui proposed a humiliating clause. The program crew had to help clean up, including but not limited to cleaning up the dishes, washing the dishes, wiping the table, etc. The netizens in the live stream initially thought that the program crew wouldn't agree, but the camera changed. More than a dozen staff members surrounded the small amount of crayfish. Those with fast hands could grab 2, while those with slow hands could only grab 1. They couldn't bear to eat it all at once and slowly ate it in their hands, as if they were eating some precious and expensive delicacy. Not to mention the noodles, each person could only pick 1 portion. Everyone couldn't care less about cleanliness as they carefully soaked the crayfish soup before eating it like it was a treasure. The satisfied expressions of the staff members were too real. Only then did the audience realize that Xiangyi's cooking was really delicious. I'm hungry, I opened the mysterious yellow app again. Ha ha ha, good thing I ordered takeout early. I can watch while eating. The earlier I spend, the earlier I can enjoy. I'm dying of laughter. In other variety shows, it's always the production team squeezing the guests dry. I didn't expect it to be the other way around. Haha, this is the first time I've seen the production team help the guests clean up. With someone helping to clean up, Xiangyi was also happy to be free. She poured a cup of sour plum soup and sipped it. Yan Zhenhua and Shui chatted about the past for a while. They talked about the tough experience of filming in the deep mountains. That day was a night shoot, and it was raining. Using the jokes you youngsters use, that rain was heavier than the day Yiping went to ask her father for money. Shui was filming a fighting scene. She rolled around in the mud, and her eyelashes were covered in mud. Although Yan Zhenhua was getting on in years, he was still very humorous. When he spoke, it was as if he was doing a monologue. But after that day, our crew had a farmhouse restaurant's earth-pot chicken. It was really delicious. Xiangyi didn't interrupt, but she listened very carefully. From time to time, she would nod or smile in response. She said softly, "There's an earth-pot stove in the small kitchen. Shall we make earth-pot chicken or stew for dinner?" Yan Zhenhua slapped his thigh excitedly. "Good, good, good. Do you want to burn some firewood? I'll go chop some firewood right away." A certain well-known director had completely forgotten that he had come to the show to chat and relax with Shui. "Xiangyi, you have an old injury on your hand, let me do it." Yan Zhenhua was stunned for 2 seconds before smiling. "You're quite meticulous, young lady. You peeled the crayfish for me because of an injury?" There was an uproar in the live stream. Asterisk. There are over 200 comments on this chapter. I'll add more today. The bad student Nuan is going to catch up on her homework. Good night. Chapter 39. Huh? Is that why the vase fairy peeled prawns for Director Yen? I suddenly feel like the vase fairy isn't that annoying anymore. It's like she's a different person. Oh my god, my impression of Xiangyi has really changed. Not only is she a good cook, she's also meticulous and knows how to take care of people. It's true, it's true. I was just watching Pretty Sister's stream and heard her conversation with her manager. She even took the initiative to avoid suspicion with Shengdi. Hype? A dog can't stop eating *T. How can the vase fairy change? It's just a script. There are so many fools these days who still believe the celebrities in variety shows are real. There was a lot of discussion in the comments. Some people had changed their opinion of Xiangyi, while others were still relentlessly criticizing her. However, everyone's unified thought was, Xiangyi would definitely show off in front of Yan Zhenhua. Unexpectedly, the girl only smiled faintly. "I'm going to chop wood." Huh? That's it? She didn't take credit, didn't show off her meticulousness, and even remembered such a small detail like Director Yan's old injury? Yan Zhenhua was even more satisfied with Xiangyi. "Let's go, Shui. Let's go take a look." Shui pushed her gold-rimmed glasses up her nose and followed. Yan Nai was also dragged along by his father. The small kitchen was a traditional Chinese-style building. There was a pot, a stove, and corresponding kitchen utensils. There was dry wood prepared all year round, but it hadn't been chopped yet. Yen Zhenhua was determined to prove that he hadn't aged. He picked up the axe and chopped a few times. The wood either fell from the stump or wedged into the wood. Yen Zhenhua was old after all. After a few tries, he was out of breath. However, Yen Zhenhua still firmly believed that there was no problem with his method. He just didn't have enough strength. He patted Yen Nai's shoulder. Nai, try it." Yen Nai hesitated. I can't." "Can you be a little more manly?" Yen Zhenhua said loudly. "Listen to me, use your strength from this angle." He spoke and gestured as he explained eloquently. It was as if he was lecturing someone on the set. Yen Nai tried twice and also failed. Yen Zhenhua was a little unhappy. "Where did all the food go? You can't even do such a small task?" Instantly, the bullet screen started to fire at him. "Your brother is thin to begin with, and he's never done this kind of work before. Isn't it normal that he can't chop well? What kind of father is this?" Yen Nai didn't even take a sip of water other than scrambled eggs with tomatoes. It's bad enough that he doesn't care about his son, but he's so fierce. The little puppy is so pitiful. I'm physically and mentally uncomfortable with a middle-aged greasy man like Yen Zhenhua who likes to be a teacher and give advice. I'm reminded of my silly menopausal leader again. Hee, isn't this the current situation of traditional parents in our country? Apart from suppressing and criticizing their children, they never consider their children's feelings. Yen Nai's personality had always been sensitive. Being scolded in public, he was momentarily stunned. He stood there in a daze and even forgot to defend himself. Li Jianyu's heart was in his throat. He was afraid that the atmosphere would become awkward because of this. Suddenly, he heard the man's low chuckle. "Teacher Xiangyi, can you teach us?" The netizens were speechless. "Brother, you're too flirtatious. Who can resist that?" Xiangyi nodded and demonstrated. The girl raised her hand and the axe fell, splitting the wood into two. Her movements were clean, neat, and valiant. It was as if she was cutting a cake. In an instant, the netizens were speechless. "Pretty girl. No, pretty sister is too much." Chapter 40. Xiangyi's display of skill shocked countless people in front of the screen. The on-site staff were also shocked. They thought Xiangyi was just joking, but they didn't expect her to really know how to chop wood. Yen Nai's eyes widened, filled with shock. She really did it. A soft and calm voice suddenly sounded in his ear. "It's not that you don't have enough strength, it's that there's a problem with your technique. Try this." "Huh?" Yen Nai froze for a few seconds before realizing that Xiangyi was teaching him. She slowed down her movements, her tone was patient, and her explanation was logical. Yen Nai tried it after listening and actually managed to chop a slightly smaller piece of wood. Yen Zhenhua was happy, but he was a typical male chauvinist. He snorted. "You only chopped one piece, what's there to be happy about?" He didn't think much of it. After all, Yen Nai's grandfather and his father had taught him this. Yen Nai's eyes that had just lit up gradually dimmed. Live comments: "Yen Zhenhua is poisonous. What's wrong with praising your son? Must you attack him like this?" A round of applause rang out. It was Xiangyi who was supporting him. "That's amazing." Yen Nai shyly clenched the wooden handle of the axe. It's nothing." She was the woman he used to hate, but now he was being praised, very happily. Shi Sui's lips curved slightly as she cooperated. "Yeah, Anai is good at learning and practical." The young boy was even happier. If he had a tail, it would probably be wagging. Xiangyi looked at Yen Zhenhua and smiled. "Director Yen, aren't you going to praise Yen Nai?" Yen Zhenhua waved his hand. "Oh, how can I say that? Praising an actor was fine, but praising his own son, that was too embarrassing. I think children should be praised more." Xiangyi picked up another axe and chatted while chopping wood. "When I was a child, I liked it when my elders praised me. Every time they did, I was especially motivated. This statement resonated with many people. It's me, the more the teacher praises me, the more motivated I am. I really like to flatter my sisters, and I also like it when my sisters flatter me in different ways, ha ha ha. Sister E is so hardworking. She's so efficient, so valiant and gentle. Woo woo, I'm turning from a passerby to a fan. Yen Nai didn't have any expectations for Yen Zhenhua. He actually knew that his father loved him, but his way of expressing it was reserved. Therefore, it didn't matter. He didn't really need his father's approval. But unexpectedly, Yen Zhenhua coughed. That is not bad. Keep up the good work. Yen Nai jerked his head up and stared at his father in disbelief. Yen Zhenhua felt embarrassed after praising him. He touched his stomach and looked away. I'll go take a look at the chickens. I can't chop firewood, but I'm good at killing chickens. Chapter 41. The Live Comments. Huh? Director Yen can't be at Sundara, right? I actually think Director Yen is very cute. Chicken? Don't come over, I'm going to scream. Director Li Jianyu, who had been paying attention to the netizens' comments throughout the entire process, heaved a sigh of relief when he saw the change in the live comments. Thinking back, he realized, did Shi Sui and Xiangyi inadvertently work together? And they even cooperated perfectly? Li Jianyu didn't have time to think about it in detail as his attention was attracted by the comments praising Xiangyi. He also noticed that the number of viewers in Xiangyi's personal livestream had actually increased. Although the increase wasn't huge, it was a reflection that more and more viewers were becoming interested in her. Perhaps, there was a deeper meaning behind Daddy Shi's recommendation of Xiangyi to star in this live variety show? Yen Zhenhua ran to the chicken coop to take a look. There were more than a dozen chickens in total, as well as a nest of freshly hatched chicks with light yellow fluffy feathers. The chicken coop was very clean, and there was a thick layer of hay on the ground. There wasn't any smell. Shi Sui also came over, and Xiangyi even stuffed him with a small basket so that he could pick up some eggs. Because the scene of the chickens being slaughtered was too bloody, the cameraman paused the filming. Yen Zhenhua scanned the chicken coop with his eyes, intending to pick the fattest one. He casually chatted, Shi Sui, what do you think of that little girl, Xiangyi? Huh? Shi Sui slowly picked up an egg. The female staff at the side couldn't help but look at him. His fair and slender hands with distinct joints didn't look like someone who would do such a thing at all. But when he did, it was incomparably elegant and pleasing to the eye. Yen Zhenhua smiled and said, if you ask me, this little girl is pretty and has a good temper. She's a good match for our Anai. Shi Sui paused in his actions of picking up the eggs and continued unhurriedly, Director Yen, Anai is still a child. Yen Nai was only 17 years old this year and was underage. I just asked around, the little girl is 3 years older than our Anai. As the old saying goes, a woman 3 years older than her husband would carry a golden brick. Look at this, when fate comes, it can't be stopped. This is simply a match made in heaven, a match bestowed by heaven. The more Yen Zhenhua thought about it, the more convinced he was. He slapped his thigh and said, if this is really done, I will give you a big red packet. In the future, the little girl won't call you senior anymore. She'll call you uncle like Anai. We'll be a loving family. Shi Sui had always been gentle and courteous, but for some reason, she was silent today. Unfortunately, Yen Zhenhua, a straight man, was already immersed in the image of Xiangyi and Yen Nai's baby surrounding him and calling him grandpa. On the other side, halfway through the scene of chopping firewood, there was a signal problem, and the live broadcast had to be temporarily suspended. Xiangyi, on the other hand, didn't stay idle. She found a food container and prepared to pick some fruit for Xiang Feng to send to the driver. Yen Nai didn't know where his courage came from, but he stopped her. Xiangyi. Stop, I have something to say to you. Xiangyi turned back, her eyes indifferent. What's the matter? Meeting her clear eyes, Yen Nai suddenly stuttered. If there's nothing else, I'm leaving. Yen Nai was anxious and blurted out, why are you ignoring Sister Wan Yen? She's clearly doing this for your own good, Why don't you understand her at all? Xiangyi was at a loss. Who? Yan Nai said indignantly. It's fine if you pretend not to know me, but do you also pretend not to know Sister Wan Yan? Xiangyi, you have no heart. A question mark slowly appeared on top of Xiangyi's head. This chapter was updated after reading the comments on QQ. There will be an update in the morning, so it will be late, so I'll say good night first. Chapter 42. Known, Condition A. The child knows me. Condition B. The Sister Wan Yan that the child mentioned knows me. Condition C. I don't know them. From this, it could be understood that he was a friend of the person who occupied her body. After sorting it out, Xiangyi said good-naturedly, Sorry, I lost my memory. I forgot all the memories of the past year. How could Yan Nai believe her? The little boy trembled with anger. You're lying again. You used to lie all the time, saying you lost your memory and tricking Sister Wan Yan into being nice to you. He lowered his eyes, feeling wronged. Why did you pretend you didn't know me? You were the one who confessed to me, and the one who touched my hand was also you. Xiangyi. In a flash, Xiangyi understood what was going on. No wonder Nan and Xiang Feng always used the word waste. Well, it was on. So the one who occupied her body was a sea king? Thinking of the scumbag who took the little white flower to break up with her, Xiangyi actually felt a little pity for him. He cuckolded at her, she cuckolded at him, she cuckolded at him, she cuckolded at him, he cuckolded at her. This was simply like a wonderful frog eating a wonderful crispy horn, wonderful entering Mickey Mouse's wonderful house, wonderful to the extreme. The little boy's eyes were red, and his eyelashes were stained with moisture. His bad attitude towards her had a reason, so Xiangyi couldn't help but feel a little more like spoiling a cub. Yan Nai, look at me, look into my eyes, okay? The girl softened her voice, almost coaxing a child. Yan Nai hesitated, then raised his eyes. Xiangyi patiently explained, Have you ever heard of dual personality? Maybe you don't believe it, but in the past year, do you really think the Xiangyi you knew and the current me are the same person? Yan Nai was stunned. Indeed, they didn't look alike. That Xiangyi had frivolous eyes, vain and pompous, and when she touched his hand, it was really disgusting. But the girl in front of him now had a gentle temperament, clear eyes, and eyes that seemed to be full of stars. Her whole person was bright and soft. She was a completely different person. You have an answer in your heart, don't you? Xiangyi said softly. I apologize for what happened in the past, but I really don't have those memories. If you want to vent your negative emotions on me, I'm fine with it. But I hope you understand that I didn't lie to you, and there is no need for me to lie to you. Yan Nai's voice was slightly nasal. You're lying. No. You are a liar. Fine, you don't want to listen to me, do you? Xiangyi looked around and picked up a sickle expressionlessly. She asked casually, Do you believe me now? Yan Nai. 2 minutes later. The young boy accepted the fact that Xiangyi had lost her memory. He obediently held the food container and followed behind Xiangyi like a little tail. If one ignored the scythe in Xiangyi's hand, the scene would have been perfect. There was a ladder near the fruit trees. Xiangyi lightly and nimbly climbed up a loquat tree. The fruit on the tree wasn't easy to pick, so she hooked it with the scythe and easily reached it. Yan Nai weakly picked up the scattered fruit that had fallen to the ground. Yan Nai was so nervous that he accidentally dropped the food container that was filled with loquats. Suddenly, a word echoed in Yan Nai's mind, danger. The next second, the girl suddenly patted his cheeks twice. Her voice was gentle but rather threatening. The wind blew a strand of her hair and stuck it to his brow bone. She was very close. I only like obedient children. If you deliberately cause trouble, you'll get beaten up. Whoosh! Yan Nai's ears turned red. Can the diligent Nuanyuan have votes and comments? Good night. Chapter 43. How strange. Her touch didn't seem so annoying anymore. His heartbeat was also erratic. I didn't do it on purpose. Yen Nai's voice was getting smaller and smaller. He didn't dare to look at Xiangyi. He lowered his eyes, and the fringe on his forehead covered his clear eyes. From Xiangyi's point of view, the kid was scared. Forget it, I'll just scare him a little. Her pretty little brother has the privilege of being forgiven and doted on. Are you hungry? She asked. No. Before he could finish his sentence, Yen Nai's stomach growled at an inappropriate time. His fair and handsome face, which still had some baby fat, instantly turned red. Xiangyi's lips curved. What do you like to eat? I'll pick loquats for you later. Yen Nai's eyes lit up. There was such a good thing. Half an hour later, a bowl of hot rice noodles was placed in front of Yen Nai. The rice noodles were made by Xiangyi. They were white and smooth, soft and elastic. Considering Yen Nai's preference for spicy and sour food, she made a fragrant meat sauce as a topping. She also added some refreshing side dishes and vegetables, filling the bowl to the brim. Yen Nai huffed and puffed as he ate. If you can't finish it, it's okay to have leftovers, Xiangyi reminded him. Her biggest worry as a child was that she couldn't leave leftovers when eating at other people's houses. However, all the elders liked to give her food. She had to bite the bullet and eat when she couldn't finish it. It was a painful feeling. There was no need to make things difficult for the kid. Yen Nai raised his head from the bowl that was bigger than his face. The corners of his mouth were oily, and he revealed a shy smile. Leftovers? That didn't exist. He even wanted to have another bowl. Xiangyi went to wash the fruits so that it would be convenient for Xiang Feng to eat when he received them. Buzz buzz. His phone vibrated. It was a voice call from Qin Wanyan. Yen Nai hesitated for a moment before answering the call. Sister Wanyan. Qin Wanyan's gentle and concerned voice came through the receiver. I heard that there was an accident during the live broadcast. Are you okay? Are you hungry? Do you want me to order some takeout for you? There was a signal tower nearby that was undergoing maintenance, so the live broadcast could not be carried out for the time being. The program team posted an apology on Weibo. Thank you, Sister Wanyan, but there's no need. Yen Nai's heart was warm. Qin Wanyan's concern always made him feel very happy. Qin Wanyan chose her words carefully. Big brother, I saw that you only ate scrambled eggs with tomatoes during dinner, but Xiangyi didn't even try to persuade you. Sigh, after what she did to you, she left a shadow in your heart. She doesn't even care about you. Yen Nai spoke sternly. Sister Wanyan, Sister Xiangyi lost her memory. She doesn't remember anything from the past year. In that case, let bygones be bygones. On the other end of the phone, Qin Wanyan had already prepared a set of lotus words. Yen Nai's sudden words left her speechless. Sister Xiangyi? Didn't you say that you hated Xiangyi the most? The fact that Yen Nai was once molested by Xiangyi was Qin Wanyan's biggest trump card. From time to time, she would use it to brainwash Yen Nai and make him remember the pain. Whenever Yen Nai thought about it, he would feel nauseous. This was the first time that her trump card had failed. Also, Sister Wanyan, Sister Xiangyi didn't mean to ignore you. Her eyes aren't good. She has pseudomyopia and a thin cornea, so she can't use electronic devices often. She hasn't even used her phone recently, so I'm sure she didn't mean to not reply to your messages. Okay, I'm hanging up. I'm going to eat my noodles. Qin Wanyan. You believe in the bullshit of amnesia and bad eyes? I think there's something wrong with your head. Chapter 44. Qin Wanyan wanted to continue, but this time, Yen Nai hung up in a hurry, as if he was being chased by a dog. Before he hung up, Qin Wanyan vaguely heard a burp. At the same time, at a research institute in China, top talents from various fields were gathered at the research institute. They were usually busy with their own things, and the only place they met was the cafeteria. Xiang Li rarely went to the cafeteria. Usually, the Xiang family chef would deliver food. But today, the new chef accidentally made food that he hated. Xiang Li didn't even touch it and went straight to the cafeteria. He was famous among the weirdos in the research institute for being cold and hard to get along with. The only person he was closest to was the little fatty in the laboratory next door. Brother Li, today's braised pork and crab roe buns are delicious. The little fatty enthusiastically recommended the menu as soon as he saw him. He looked at the tablet on the table as he ate. I don't know the name of this foodie blogger, but the crayfish looks so delicious. Xiang Li didn't have the habit of using his phone while eating. He casually glanced at the screen, but his gaze froze. On the screen, there seemed to be an edited version of a short video. A beautiful girl with no makeup stir-fried the crayfish a few times and served it on a plate. It only took about 10 seconds, but the little fatty had watched it over and over again for who knows how many times. The hot soup splashed on the back of the girl's fair hand. If one looked closely, they would see that her skin was slightly red. It was common to get scalded while cooking. But Xiang Li's brows furrowed deeply. He patted the little fatty on the shoulder. Do you still have that special ointment that your laboratory developed some time ago? We do, but it's too expensive. I only kept a tube. Give it to me. His tone was firm. The little fatty was a little reluctant. Brother Li, I'll keep an eye on your experiment tonight, Xiang Li said expressionlessly. The little fatty. Oh, it's a deal. Brother Li, I'll go get it now. The little fatty stopped eating and ran to get the ointment. He found Xiang Li writing an address on a piece of paper. The man was left-handed, but now he was using his right hand. His handwriting was still strong and smooth. He first wrote a string of words, which seemed to be the name of a manor. Then, he crossed it out and replaced it with the Stars Entertainment Company building. The little fatty was curious. Brother Li, who are you giving this ointment to? Family. Xiang Li said in a disdainful tone, Idiot. After a pause, he added, Let the big idiot give the little idiot. Little fatty. After Yan Nai finished the noodles, he obediently went to wash the dishes. Xiang Yi had specially left him a portion of fruit and a cup of freshly squeezed strawberry yogurt. The young boy immediately became excited. Sister, I'll go chop some firewood later. Xiang Yi didn't mind the change in the way he addressed her. She casually said, Then wear gloves. Don't scratch your hands. She was about to contact her uncle, Xiang Feng, when she heard a familiar voice. Little Xiang Yi, your package has been delivered. Come and sign for it. Thus, Yan Nai discovered that Xiang Yi's originally calm expression had blossomed into a sweet smile. Uncle. Xiang Feng came with a bunch of packages. He pinched Xiang Yi's chubby cheeks and took out a thin kitten from his suit pocket. I just picked it up on the side of the road. Although it's a little ugly, it looks like sanction. I'm going to take it back and raise it. When the kitten saw Xiang Yi, it meowed excitedly and waved its little paws wildly. Xiang Yi was stunned. She hesitantly called out a name. Tong Tong? Chapter 45. The Kitten. Meow meow meow. It's me, Xiang Yi! Exclamation point. The girl, who had always been calm and collected, was surprised. Xiang Feng. What bucket? Bucket bag. Which brand do you want? Uncle will buy it for you. Ahem, uncle, I think it might be hungry. I'll take it to make some goat milk powder. Xiang Yi took the kitten from him and rubbed the back of its neck to comfort it. Xiang Feng complained, Hey, be careful. This cat has a bad temper. It almost scratched me just now. Me. The little kitten with a bad temper that he was talking about nudged Xiang Yi with its head aggrievedly and was extremely coquettish. Xiang Feng. Fine, it wasn't the first time he found out that little Xiang Yi was liked by small animals. As for him, he probably had a body that even dogs despised. In the kitchen. Xiang Yi's voice was soft. Tong Tong, how did you become a kitten? Didn't you say that you would become a tiger? When she was about to transmigrate to this world, Xiang Yi had a cute and adorable system. Of course, Tong Tong refused to admit that it was cute. Xiangyi was its last host. After completing the task, it could obtain a real body through a stream of data. Because Xiangyi had told it about Chinese mythology when she was bored, Tong Tong especially liked the white tiger mythological beast and was determined to become a majestic white tiger in the future. However, it didn't know where an accident came from. It didn't reincarnate as a white tiger, but as a little white cat. Meow 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 meow. I'm so angry. Tong Tong's life was so difficult. Xiangyi rubbed its flat belly and quickly made it a bowl of goat milk powder. Good boy, drink some milk first. I'll make some cat food for you. Tong Tong. Ah, meow meow meow. I'm not a cat. Xiangyi held back her laughter and coaxed softly. Okay, we're not little meow, we're Xiao Now Fu. I'll make you Xiao Now Fu's food. Tong Tong, humph. That was more like it. It was not in vain for it to be reincarnated into this woman's world. Xiangyi boiled the chicken breast, egg yolk, and carrots. She cut them into small pieces and put them in a clean bowl. All of them were really starving. They buried their heads in the food and were even indifferent when Xiangyi rubbed them. When Shi Sui entered the kitchen with a basket of eggs, he saw the girl stroking the cat until her eyebrows curved. Senior Shi, Xiangyi greeted him politely. Thank you for your hard work. Shi Sui asked gently, do you put the eggs in the fridge? Yes, the refrigeration section. Shi Sui put down the eggs and found that Xiangyi's eyes were full of the kitten. She didn't even look at him. He licked his teeth with the tip of his tongue, suddenly feeling displeased. Is this the cat that Xiang Feng picked up? Xiang Feng had mentioned it to him when he passed by the living room earlier. Are you going to raise it? Xiangyi looked up innocently. Senior, can't I? She was worried that Shi Sui was allergic to cat fur. If that happened, Xiang Feng would have to take care of it during the live broadcast. Shi Sui's fingertips itched. He wanted to touch the cigarette box, but he resisted the urge. You can. He paused and said in a hoarse voice, but there's a condition. The girl's eyes flashed for a moment, then dimmed again. What condition? Tong Tong, whose mouth was full of delicious food, was the only one who raised its cat face and stared at Shi Sui suspiciously. It felt that there was a familiar but dangerous aura on him. But eating was the most important thing. It opened its mouth and buried its face in the bowl again. Shi Sui looked at the girl sitting cross-legged on the ground with a half-smile. Call me brother? Huh. Xiangyi was dumbfounded. Or do you want to call me uncle like Yen Nai? Asterisk have a good weekend, good night. Chapter 46. It was already evening, and the sunset outside the window was beautiful and gorgeous, creating layers of magnificent orange red. The afterglow of the setting sun shone through the window onto Shi Sui's face, embellishing it with a layer of light. It was unexpectedly gentle. Xiangyi inexplicably thought of the first time she met Shi Sui. At her 16th birthday party, he and Xiang Feng walked in together, his suit jacket casually wrapped around his arm. The noisy living room of the Xiang family instantly fell silent, and the crowd seemed to be bewitched as they unconsciously followed his figure. At that time, he was at his most frivolous and high-spirited. At the age of 23, he won both the Best Actor and Best Actor awards at the same time. One look from him was enough to amaze everyone. The reason he became her white moonlight seemed very shallow. When she went upstairs in a dress, Shi Sui quietly blocked her with his suit jacket. Xiangyi still remembered that the only thing she said to him was, "Thank you, big brother." Before Shi Sui could speak, he was suddenly interrupted by Xiang Feng. Little Xiangyi, you're messing up the seniority. You should call him uncle. The memory came to an abrupt end. Xiangyi's cherry lips moved, but she couldn't spit out the simple syllables no matter how hard she tried. She was no longer the ignorant little girl from back then, and her feelings for Shi Sui were no longer romantic. She coughed lightly. Senior Shi, perhaps. Have you heard of mommy fans? Shi Sui raised his eyebrows, suddenly having a bad feeling. Actually, I think of you as... Xiangyi was too embarrassed to say the word zai zai, so she changed the euphemism. She raised Xiao Naofu like a cat. The little white cat, who had been disturbed from eating, looked fierce. I already said that I'm not a cat, meow. Shi Sui chuckled, leaned over, and rubbed Xiao Naofu's head. Cat? It sounds pretty cute. Just then, Xiang Feng barged in. Little Xiangyi, is there anything to eat? I'm so hungry. Hey, Shi Sui, why are you still here? Shi Sui said, watch the cat. What's so nice about a cat? It's so ugly. Xiang Feng muttered. Xiangyi covered Tong Tong's two soft cat ears and said seriously, no, our Xiao Naofu can't hear anything. You even named it? Yes, I want to raise it. Xiangyi suddenly thought of something, and her clear eyes fell on Shi Sui. Senior, I'll raise him. Xiang Feng, don't call me senior, call me uncle. He's of the same generation as me. For the first time in her life, Shi Sui had a strong desire to shut others up. Xiang Feng, no, he's older than me. Should you call him uncle or grandpa? Shi Sui. A certain film emperor was expressionless as he made a mental note of Feng Feng of the Xiang family. Xiang family's Feng Feng, expert at ruining the atmosphere plus stumbling block in the relationship between the male and female leads. Chapter 47. On Weibo. After all, it was the first live-streamed variety show in the country, and it was also Shi Sui's first variety show. Hence, the discussion about two under one roof continued to be high. There were several related terms on the hot search list. Hashtag Shi Sui's variety show, hashtag Shi Sui's white shirt, hashtag Yen Nai is too cute, hashtag more crayfish takeout orders explode, hashtag. The netizens urged Shi Sui's official Weibo account to continue with the live stream. The bored netizens began to dig into the outfits, recipes, and even the cutlery in the kitchen of Two Under One Roof was of the same style. Shi Sui is indeed a man doted on by luxury brands. His clothes and shoes are all the latest fashion from the show sponsored by the brand, and even his watch is a private high-end gift from a certain brand. There's only one in the world. No way, you guys are way too fast. The sports bag that Shi Sui was carrying was actually taken off the shelves? Damn it, who said that the production team of Two Under One Roof is poor? Let's not talk about how much that immortal venue costs. Do you know what the cutlery in the kitchen is? It's the Misty Rain series of Shizhou porcelain. A set of plates alone costs thousands of yuan. I'm a graduate student in the field of cultural relics and museums. The paintings and vases in the living room seem to be antiques. All of a sudden, the entire internet was shocked. Is Two Under One Roof variety show that impressive? However, more than that, it was the overwhelming number of marketing accounts that were leading the way. The female star with the surname X is uncultured, and her low standards are worrisome. Is the vase fairy delusional? The most comprehensive analysis is as follows. A prodigal can ruin a family, and Xiangyi can ruin a variety show. There were countless similar posts on Weibo, and some experienced people could tell that Xiangyi was obviously being targeted. However, there were even more passers-by who were extremely disgusted with Xiangyi after reading these posts. I've lived for a long time, but the vase fairy actually has fans. Even though the crayfish takeout orders are exploding, her fans can still brag about her own cooking skills. I'm laughing my head off. How great would it be if this variety show didn't have the vase fairy? I'd be satisfied just watching Shi Ingdi 24/7. The vase fairies, Welcome and Home, have really been my laughingstock for a year. Come on, that's just a mansion used for live streaming. Is the castle her family owns as well? If there's an award for the most idiotic actress in the entertainment industry, it'll definitely go to this young actress. I'm not watching anymore, I'm just going to watch Heartbeat tomorrow. That's right, isn't Heartbeat S3 pairs of handsome men and beautiful women in love? Who wants to watch a retirement variety show like Two Under One Roof? Muyao TV. The PR department sent a summary of the latest public opinion online to Director Chen, the director of Heartbeat. Director Chen smiled in satisfaction when he saw that the netizens had expressed their desire to watch Heartbeat instead of Two Under One Roof. If Li Jianyu wanted to compete with them in manipulating public opinion, he was still too inexperienced. They had already made full preparations. Drawing on the experience of today's Two Under One Roof, they would directly open up 7 live streaming rooms tomorrow, each of which would be connected to the other. When the time came, they would create a popularity ranking to attract fans to compete and spend money. He believed that Heartbeat would become one of the most profitable variety shows on Muyao TV this year. As for Two Under One Roof, everyone was only watching it for She Sui now. After a few days, when they got tired of it, wouldn't they all come to watch Heartbeat? Director Chen, the signal for Two Under One Roof has been restored. They've informed us that the live stream is about to begin. An assistant came forward to report, trembling with fear. Director Chan said disdainfully, adjusting the equipment and cutting the signal, which audience member can stand such torment? The number of viewers must have dropped by a lot. The assistant, Director Chen, no, the number of viewers has increased. Director Chen? What happened to not watching it? Chapter 48. The third live stream of Two Under One Roof in a Day began. The scene started with stewed chicken. The camera first gave a close-up shot of the pickled chicken, and Li Jianyu's stifled laughter was heard by the audience through the sound recording device. This is Xiao Huang from our chicken coop. Cause of death: too fat. It passed away peacefully. Let's remember it. Thank you, Director Yen. You've worked hard. Sure enough, the knife never gets old. The live comments: First blood. Those who are talking about first blood, have you forgotten about the crayfish at noon? Crayfish. Do you still remember that year when it rained apricot flowers? It was a mistake after all. Wait a minute, is this a romance variety show or a food variety show? Although everyone was confused, they were still watching the live stream with great interest. Some of them even treated it like a mukbang live stream. They either yelled out, "Mom, I want to eat stewed chicken tonight," or opened a takeout app to order a good meal for themselves. The camera then turned and landed on Yen Nai, who was cooking a pot. The young man was trying his best to start the fire. He pouted his soft lips and blew on it, instantly striking the hearts of countless fans. Oh my God, he's so cute. Brother, stop blowing on the fire. Come kiss me. Ah, he's not a fireman, he's a fire boy. Are you trying to make me laugh to death so you can inherit my takeout business? Yen Zhenhua wasn't idle either. A famous director was actually peeling garlic. He hummed a little tune and happily peeled the garlic. He even said to the camera in a serious manner, "Men have to have something to live for. They can't be lazy men. Lazy men will get beaten up by their mother-in-law." The live comments: as expected of a cultured person, his sarcasm is amazing. Director Yen is so cute. He's so humorous and funny. Why don't the Yen father and son team up and debut together? Ha ha ha. Ah, he's here. Sheringdi is here. Wait, what the hell is he holding in his hand? Chopping board. Vase Fairy is holding a kitchen knife? What should I do? I'm starting to pinch my thigh. How can these two walk out of Fashion Week with a chopping board and a kitchen knife? I actually feel like the two of them are a little CP. Get lost. I refuse to form a CP. Take away Sheringdi, we won't date you. She Sui was indeed holding a chopping board for cutting vegetables. The original chopping board in the small kitchen was too small, so he helped Xiangyi get the chopping board from the big kitchen. Xiangyi took a kitchen knife and some seasonings. She raised the knife in her hand and cut the whole chicken into pieces. Peel and slice the garlic and ginger. Chop the scallions and chili. After lighting the fire, remove the oil from the wok and add the scallions, ginger, garlic, green peppers, red peppers, and the secret chili powder. The fire in the wok was strong, and in the blink of an eye, a fragrant aroma wafted out. The chicken pieces exuded a sizzling grease. Under the high-definition lens, the viewers were about to drool. After stir-frying, add in the seasonings and simmer them with water. Xiangyi had also prepared a sumptuous array of side dishes such as shiitake mushrooms, bean sprouts, potatoes, bamboo shoots, dried beans, and so on. She put them in at the most appropriate time. The noodles were kneaded in advance and pressed into a thick and thin flatbread. She stuck them around the wok, allowing the chicken soup and steam to soak them in. If it were anyone else, they would have been flustered by this process, but Xiangyi was calm and methodical. In front of the camera, many viewers sighed from the bottom of their hearts. The vase fairy was a little too dramatic and stupid, but her cooking was still quite pleasing to the eye. Yan Nai swallowed and couldn't help but ask, "Xiangyi sis, what are we eating tomorrow morning?" Xiangyi thought for a moment. "Let's go to my family's farm tomorrow to get some fresh milk and make fried milk." The live comments, "Even through the screen, I feel embarrassed for the vase fairy. EW. Do you think the whole world is your home? Your family's farm? Sister, can you be more shameless, please? Asterisk good night." Chapter 49. The comment section was once again in an uproar over Xiangyi's words. Someone weakly posted, "My college classmate is at the live broadcast site. I heard that it's Xiangyi's home. She offered to be the live broadcast site." Unfortunately, there were just too many comments. This comment was like a drop of water that fell into the ocean. It didn't even cause a splash. The earth pot chicken needed to be stewed for a long time before the flavor would enter. The Yen father and son eagerly waited by the pot. Even though Xiangyi repeatedly said that even if the fire was extinguished, the temperature of the firewood would be enough to cook, they still didn't move an inch. One old and one young, their cravings were obvious. "Is there any more sour plum soup from lunch?" Yen Zhenhua swallowed. "This chicken will be salty if you eat too much." Yen Nai, "Coke is fine too, add some ice." Xiangyi found it funny, her eyebrows slightly curved. "There's sour plum soup and Coke. There's also some plum wine I brewed before. Director Yen, would you like to try it?" Yen Zhenhua's eyes lit up. "You know how to brew wine? Then we're in for a treat." "Not really, plum wine is quite simple to brew," Xiangyi modestly said and got up to get the wine. Tong Tong, Xiao Naofu had already taken a bath and dried its fur. It had transformed into a soft and adorable kitten, walking lazily as if it was patrolling its territory. As soon as it entered the scene, its cuteness attracted many viewers. Li Jianyu acted as a narrator and explained, "This is the cat we picked up this afternoon. Its name is Xiao Naofu. Ah, it's a kitten. I want to rua it. Such a cute cat, I can sit 10 of them to death. Baby, what color of sack do you like? Where can I pick up this cat?" Waiting online, urgent. The photographer generously took a few close-up shots of Xiao Naofu. The proud and arrogant cat walked around on its short legs and stopped at Shi Sui's feet. Meow. Xiao Naofu looked up curiously, feeling that there was a familiar aura on Shi Sui's body. Could it be that he was also a fast transmigrator? Impossible. Before it was reincarnated, it had looked up information about this world. Xiangyi was the only fast transmigrator. "Ah, I didn't expect this. My head hurts." Shi Sui lowered her peach blossom eyes, picked up the back of Xiao Naofu's neck, and gently stroked it a few times. The man and the cat looked at each other. The scene was beautiful and harmonious. "Ah, I want to be held in the palm of my brother's hand too. I'm planting lemons online. I'm dying of jealousy. I'm not as good as a cat. Shuringdi is too gentle. What a perfect man. My hand fetish is about to have a nosebleed." Xiao Naofu was enjoying this human service when it heard the sound of footsteps. Its cat ears twitched and it suddenly cried out, "Meow meow meow." Xiangyi heard its cry and hurried over. She put down the tray of drinks, took Xiao Naofu from Shi Sui, and stared at him warily. Xiao Naofu snuggled in her arms and whined in a coquettish voice, as if it had suffered a great grievance. Xiangyi took 2 steps back with it in her arms. Senior, don't bully it. Shi Sui raised her eyebrows. A thought popped up in his mind. It's just a cat, how can it be more important than me? In the live stream. Is this the legendary green tea cat? Is it an illusion? Xiao Naofu seems to be competing for favor. Why do I see a trace of grievance in Shi Yingdi's eyes? Shi Sui's thin lips moved, wanting to explain, but Xiao Naofu meowed again. Xiangyi softly coaxed, "Be good, I'll take you to see the new cat bed, okay?" Xiao Naofu, meow Shi Sui. Very good, the case was solved. He really wasn't as important as a cat. Chapter 50. The cat bed was delivered by Xiong Feng. It was a red ingot shape, fluffy and soft. Xiao Naofu jumped into it and couldn't help but roll around happily. It seemed that Xiangyi doted on it quite a bit. As for that man with peach blossom eyes, don't think he can steal Xiangyi's love just because he's good-looking. However, why does he have that familiar scent? I'll have to find out when I have the chance. Under the expectant gazes of the Yen father and son, dinner was finally served. Yen Zhenhua personally scooped out the dishes and found the largest basin in the kitchen. The netizens watching the live comments exclaimed that the famous director was so down-to-earth. He took out a few pancakes and left the rest in the pot to keep warm. The side dishes were a few exquisite side dishes, including Xiangyi's fresh salad, pickled pickles, and pickled radishes. Okay, let's eat then. Yen Zhenhua shamelessly picked up a piece of chicken for himself. The chicken was a free-range chicken, and its meat was firm and delicious. Stewing it in the pot made it even more delicious. Apart from chili, there were no other seasonings, which highlighted the freshness of the dish. He then took a sip of plum wine. The wine was strong and fruity, mixed with a sweet and refreshing taste. It was simply amazing. Shi Sui picked up some vegetables and tasted them. Whether it was the bamboo shoots or dried beans, they were all soaked in the chicken broth. They were fragrant but not greasy. Then, a spicy taste bloomed on the tip of her tongue, spicy but not dry. He especially liked shiitake mushrooms, which had a smooth and tender texture that was even more delicious than chicken. Yen Nai was even more delicious. He took a bite of pancake, a mouthful of meat, and a mouthful of vegetables. As he ate, he even learned to tear the pancake apart and stuff it with meat and vegetables, imitating Rujiamo. This is AF * King Food Show. Smile *. I'm going crazy. I'm eating when I'm about to cook, and I'm eating when I'm eating. My stomach is round. Are you fighting? Are you arguing? Are you in love? Why are there no elements? You only know how to eat. Forget it, I'm going to cook some instant noodles too. The program team was surprised to find that as long as it was mealtime, the comments in the comment section would be surprisingly harmonious. Even Xiangyi was rarely scolded. Li Jianyu's expression changed from absent-mindedness to sudden realization. Damn, he finally understood the real reason why Father Shi recommended Xiangyi. What love? It doesn't exist. It was all for a mouthful of food. Also, Xiangyi's cooking skills were really good. Perhaps she could use this to clear her name. Not to mention gaining fans, it shouldn't be a problem to reduce the number of haters. Everyone's attention was on the dining table. Only the people in Xiangyi's live broadcast room noticed that she didn't eat at the table. Instead, she scooped up a bowl of ground pot chicken. The side dishes were also placed on a small plate and placed on the tray. Someone curiously asked in the bullet screen, "Is it for the manager again?" However, while Xiangyi was walking towards the villa, the cameraman stopped outside. "Everyone? Are you giving it to your manager? Why can't we film it?" It definitely doesn't matter if the manager is on camera, but if it's someone else, they probably won't take random photos. Everyone expressed their understanding, but after Xiangyi used facial recognition to open the automatic door, a slender man's figure flashed across the screen. "Everyone. Her manager isn't that tall, he's not her manager. Isn't the vase fairy desperately trying to seduce Shi Yingdi? But why is she delivering food to another man behind Shuringdi's back? I have a bold idea. Could it be that she's a sugar daddy? Chapter 51. One of the unsolved mysteries in the world was probably the speed at which rumors spread. Soon, Xiangyi's live stream was filled with countless onlookers. Where's Sugar Daddy? Why is it so dark? Didn't they say the vase fairy was meeting a wild man on a variety show? She's so sneaky, there's definitely something wrong. This fickle woman, she can't even carry our Shuringdi's shoes. Sister E is just delivering food. You guys keep talking about Sugar Daddy. Are you guys crazy trying to find a Sugar Daddy? Hee, sorry, our Sister E is beautiful on her own, but your Shuringdi is enjoying every meal. If you don't think he's worthy, tell him not to eat. The actual situation was, in the living room, Xiang Feng rushed over like a mad dog and opened his palms for Xiangyi to see. I washed my hands. The Xiang family had always been low-key. Although Xiang Feng ran an entertainment company, he rarely showed his face. No matter how popular the live variety show was, he was too lazy to join in the fun. He stayed here just to eat his little niece's dinner. Okay, let's eat. Is it okay if you don't go live? Xiang Feng asked as he ate. The heat made him snort. I heard the results are pretty good. Even your Weibo has gained hundreds of thousands of fans. Xiangyi had been recuperating recently and couldn't eat too much greasy food. Plus, her stomach wasn't good, so she had a bowl of millet porridge for dinner. Xiao Naofu was eating its exclusive cat food, a few peeled prawns and a small ball of pumpkin. The girl drank her porridge unhurriedly and said faintly, "No one should notice that I'm not here." Xiang Feng thought about it and agreed. Apart from cooking, his little niece really didn't have much of a presence on this live variety show. He thought it was because she didn't have a sense of variety, but from her tone, it was probably intentional. Little did he know, there were too many bored netizens these days. The comment section of Xiangyi's personal livestream was full of curses, gossip, and chatter. It was very lively. The number of viewers even reached a new peak for the day. Are you really going to leave the industry? But you even signed an agreement with Sangchen to enter the entertainment industry. Sangchen was Xiangyi's elder brother. The law firm under his name was one of the top in the country, and he was also one of the best in the industry. Xiangyi stopped eating her porridge and looked a little helpless. What agreement? I'm not sure about the specifics, but there are a lot of loose ends. Something like you can't let anyone know about your relationship with the Xiang family, and you can't accept any more pocket money from your family. Xiang Feng tasted the sour plum soup and plum wine. He preferred the sweet and sour plum soup, so he took a few big gulps. Xiangyi frowned. How could a lawyer at her brother's level sign such a childish agreement with her? Her heart skipped a beat. Could it be that Big Brother knew that she wasn't her in the past year? Uncle, where is Big Brother? He's overseas. He recently took on an IPO case and is quite busy. I don't think he'll be back for a month. Xiangyi wanted to make a video call, but she held back. It was better to ask him face to face. Xiang Feng finished his meal quickly and waved Xiangyi back to her live stream. Xiangyi returned to the pavilion with a lot on her mind. The three men were almost done with their meal. Yan Zhenhua was egging Shi Sui on to perform. Shi Sui's long legs were resting on the ground lazily, and he only smiled gently. He didn't agree or refuse. The dim light in the pavilion cast a gentle glow on his face. When he saw Xiangyi, he said in a low and hoarse voice, "Xiangyi, he bullied me." Coupled with his helpless expression, it could be said that he felt wronged, helpless, and pitiful. Shi Sui. Heh, kitty, when it comes to acting, I'm a professional, okay? Good night. Chapter 52. Xiangyi was speechless. Has Zai Zai been wronged? She subconsciously took out a piece of candy and said in a gentle voice, "Be good, don't cry." The countless viewers in the live stream were speechless. Li Jianyu and Ah Nan were speechless. The Yen father and son who were sucking on the chicken bones were speechless. Woman, what are you saying? Do you think Shi Yingdi is a child? Unexpectedly, Shi Sui's peach blossom eyes landed on Xiangyi's palm. The young woman's hand was small, fair and soft, and the lines on her palm were clear. Lying quietly was a piece of white chocolate with a strawberry filling. For me. Xiangyi's expression stiffened for a moment. Oh no, I promised Anan to keep my distance from him. However, she was used to coaxing people and didn't control her hands or mouth just now. Since she had already coaxed him, it would be unreasonable to deny it now. She nodded and said, "This is delicious. Try it, maybe you'll feel better." In the dead silence, there was a tearing sound. Xiangyi wanted to help the Buddha to the end and coax her child to the end, so she tore open the candy wrapper. Everyone was speechless. Woman, don't you think you're too good at this? Shi Sui froze for 2 seconds before taking it indifferently and taking a bite. The sweetness and sourness of the strawberry and the fragrance of the chocolate blossomed on the tip of her tongue. He curled his lips and said, It's delicious." The man smiled casually, making the surrounding scenery come alive. It turned out that there were people in this world who didn't need to fight for the center position. That was because he was at the center of the light. In the live stream, Shi Sui's fans, the Shi Sui sisters, were about to go crazy. Indeed. The vase fairy is after our brother. Damn it, Xiangyi is such a scheming woman. She might as well write a guide to flirting with men. Boo-hoo, our Shi Sui Zai Zai is so gullible. Just a candy and he's smiling so beautifully. Mommy won't allow it. Yen Zhenhua realized that the atmosphere had become a little pink, so he coughed and played the role of moderator. Xiangyi, do you have any talents? Nan's vision suddenly darkened. Director Yen, Director Yen, are you trying to save the show or ruin it? I'm afraid you haven't seen Xiangyi's previous dramas. She's an eyesore. It's fine if she doesn't have the talent, but she can't even be bothered to memorize her lines. She just counts down to 12:34 for the post-production to dub. Later on, she took the route of a variety show star. She didn't know how to sing, dance, or make jokes. She would cry if she was slightly tired, cry if things didn't go her way, and cry if she was slightly wronged. Although it was a bit harsh to say that she was a cancer in the industry, that was indeed the case. He tugged at Li Jianyu's sleeves, put his hands together and shook them. He wanted to ask her to help Xiangyi out of this predicament, but he heard the girl say, "Does an instrument count?" "I know a little about it." Yen Zhenhua laughed and said, "Of course." Xiangyi was not bashful. She said generously, "I'll go get it." After she left, Yen Zhenhua chatted with the audience about an interesting matter. "Didn't Shi Sui star in a TV series before?" Yes, the one that won the Best Actor award." Of course, there was a banquet and a competition of musical instruments. In fact, most of the actors present didn't know how to play musical instruments, but everyone had to perform a very enjoyable and moving performance. TSK. The audience interacted with each other. Yen Zhenhua, when Xiangyi's performance is over, everyone, cheer her up. Let's not hurt the little girl's heart. Yen Nai said bluntly, "What if her performance is terrible?" Yen Zhenhua resisted the urge to roll his eyes. "How did I give birth to such a straight son? When I was your age, the love letters I wrote to your mother were 1/2 a meter tall." Chapter 53. You. Yen Zhenhua gritted his teeth. Just remember this. Xiangyi's performance is the best in the world. Remember to compliment her more later. Yen Nai scratched his head. How should I compliment her? Just forcefully compliment her? Shi Sui, I suggest you turn off the mic instantly. Little brother, you won't be able to find a girlfriend if you continue like this. 23,333. Ahahaha, I'm dying of laughter. So Shi Sui, is this fun to play with? Director Yan's expression now looks like this emoji pack. I can't watch anymore. JPG. While they were talking, Xiangyi returned with a musical instrument. At first glance, the instrument looked a bit like an eru. It had a head, a neck, and a body. The red wooden neck looked antique and charming. The people who hated Xiangyi in the livestream quickly rushed to comment. I thought it was awesome. That's it? What kind of crude thing is this? Is this toxic? Isn't this the shamisen from our nation? As expected of the vase fairy, she can't do anything. She's number one in worshipping foreign things. This looks so difficult. Doesn't she know her own standards? She could have just played the harmonica or played the thumb harp. Why did she have to do such a fancy thing? The next second, Yan Zhenhua exclaimed, "Is this a sansien?" After work, he liked to go to a tea house to listen to opera. The instrument looked very familiar, but he wasn't 100% sure. Xiangyi nodded. Do you have a song you want to listen to? Yan Zhenhua usually listened to a lot of songs, but he really couldn't think of a name. He smiled and said, "Whatever, you can improvise. I'll embarrass myself." As soon as she finished speaking, the girl's slender fingers landed on the strings. A traditional song began to play, and the unique thick and bright timbre immediately pulled people into the smoke and fire of the mortal world. Yan Zhenhua originally thought that Xiangyi was just casually learning, but after listening to a short section, he realized that this girl's standards were not ordinary. There was a clear difference between the level of the accompaniment master and the little apprentice in the tea house. In his opinion, Xiangyi's level was on par with those experienced masters. Yan Nai stopped talking and stared straight at Xiangyi. When she was serious, it was as if she was wearing a light filter. Yan Nai's ears quietly turned red again. Nan was also dumbfounded. He stood beside Li Jianyu in a daze with his little colorful hair, looking like a fancy feather duster. Is my sweetheart really that formidable? In the live stream, the netizens were also filled with question marks. This is pretty good. The person who said this is the shamisen is poisonous. This is clearly our country's traditional instrument, the sansien. 1,000 days for the pipa, 100 days for the zither, and half a lifetime for the sansien. The sansien is really difficult to learn. My little sister is really something. F***ck. I was watching the live stream in the yard when the vase fairy started playing. My grandparents didn't even watch the weather forecast and ran out to listen. They said the little girl played very well. She's so good. This is like a young master taking a walk with a birdcage in a Beijing alley. When he's tired, he sits on a rocking chair under the shade of a tree to play with the birds and drink tea. Using sound to convey the scenery, using music to move people. You guys keep calling her a vase fairy, but she's clearly a treasure girl. I'm a fan now. The netizens who had attacked Xiangyi at the beginning all had expressions that were more interesting than the one before. This was indeed a large-scale face-slapping scene. However, Xiangyi wasn't slapping her own face, but the frogs at the bottom of the well. Chapter 54. In the middle of the song, the girl's finger technique changed from a folk song to an ice river. The sound of the zither was sometimes far and sometimes close, sometimes fast and sometimes slow. Her finger technique was so fast that it was dazzling. The song was simple and intense, yet it could ignite the deepest passion in one's heart. I'm on my knees. Although I don't know much about sansien, this is a finger technique that I'll never be able to learn in my lifetime. Music really can convey emotions without words. I can really hear the majestic feeling of mountains and rivers in chaotic times. Folk music is awesome. I get angry when I see someone praising the shamisen as a foreign sansien. There is no distinction between high and low musical instruments. Besides, the shamisen evolved from our sansien. This girl's improvisation is the best slap in the face. After the climax, the sound of the zither changed again, but the frequency slowed down and it became a slow and soothing tune again. It was a sharp contrast from before, but it was not abrupt and connected naturally. When the last note fell, the pavilion was astonishingly quiet, and the comments in the live stream were also reduced to the lowest number since the start of the broadcast. It was not enough. That was a feeling shared by everyone. Until, Shi Sui was the first to applaud. It was not the perfunctory kind of applause, but a heartfelt praise. It was said that talented men were charming, and talented women were the same. Yan Zhenhua followed suit and applauded. The more he looked at this future daughter-in-law, the more satisfied he was. Good, good, good. I want to buy a rocking chair and make tea. Yan Nai, who was half a beat slower, finally reacted. Unfortunately, his applause was not as fast as Shi Sui's, and he was not as good at praising people as his father. After a long time, he finally said, "Sister Sanxian playing is as good as cooking." Yan Zhenhua didn't often praise him, so he hadn't accumulated any flattering words. To be able to say such a thing was already at the level of brainstorming. Xiangyi smiled and didn't take these compliments to heart. She had seen too many big shots in her time transmigrating through worlds, and there were even people who cultivated through music. She hadn't played in a long time and her hands had long become rusty. She felt that she was only good for entertainment and was not good enough to be on the stage. Little did she know that there was a huge shock in the Chinese folk music industry tonight. After a casual chat, the guests returned to their rooms and the live broadcast ended. The audience wanted more. For a while, news about Two Under One Roof could be seen everywhere on WeChat Moments, Weibo, forums, and Tieba. Late at night, such a post appeared on the well-known gossip forum of the entertainment industry, Melon. Title: An inventory of the famous scenes of Shi Yingdi being neglected, main post. First of all, I'll introduce myself. I'm Sister Shi Sui. I've been a fan since the first movie. Actually, as a fan, it wasn't hard to tell. Although Shi Yingdi looked gentle, he actually had a sense of propriety when it came to dealing with people. The main point was that propriety was actually another form of distance. To give a simple example, he didn't have any particularly good friends in the industry, nor did he have any contact with big fans. This kind of untouchable man had been rejected by the entertainment industry's famous vase and annoying crybaby countless times. First, he wanted to be rejected on WeChat. How could he tolerate that? Then, she peeled crayfish for director Yan and her manager, but she didn't peel for our Shi Yingdi. How could she tolerate that? In the end, because of a cat, she misunderstood our Shi Yingdi. Wasn't this too much? How could she tolerate that? Yes, I've tolerated all of the above. Also, I think these two people are too CP. Because it's too magical, I'm going to call them untimely CP. Someone immediately replied to the post. Unrealistic, get lost. Unimaginable, get lost. Not worth mentioning, get lost. No. Asterisk sorry it's a little late today. Good night. 3. Red Heart. Chapter 55. While some people objected, others naturally supported it. As more and more people replied to the post, a few outliers emerged. Abstinent Best Actor vs Beautiful Vase. Isn't this the standard image of a sweet cookie in the entertainment industry? As long as the two of them are in the same frame, it'll look like an idle drama with a soft light filter. I love this pair. With all due respect, I spent the weekend watching live streams at home. Xiangyi can cook and play the Sanxian. She's beautiful and has a good personality. How is she not good enough for Shi Sui? More and more fans came down one after another, tearing each other apart as the post went viral. It was even uploaded to Weibo by marketing accounts. Because of the hashtag Shi Sui hashtag, the Shi Sui sisters were infuriated when they saw this post. Even if you want to create hype, you have to follow the basic rules, okay? If a top celebrity wanted to create hype, it could be glorified as marketing. However, the Vase Fairy was just a D-list celebrity. What right did she have to ride on Shi Sui's coattails? Most of the Shi Sui sisters were more mature and urged everyone to stay calm and not look at the Vase Fairy. However, there were also some agitated fans who ran to Xiangyi's Weibo to flame her passionately. Do you think you're worthy of being a CP? F***CK, what do you mean by standing aloof from worldly affairs? If you don't fight, why don't you just quit the show? Two Under One Roof would look better without you. Our brother has actual achievements, box office, awards, luxury endorsements, and the cover of the 4 major magazines. What do you have? Cooking? What a joke. How many female seniors have shed tears, sweat, and blood in exchange for a day when men and women are equal? What about you? You want women to return to the kitchen to help their husbands and children? Can a woman's value only be reflected by cooking? The netizens were enjoying the drama and lamenting, "Sure Sway isn't a top celebrity, but his fans are fiercer than the top celebrities. The Vase Fairy is probably going to shut herself out from the criticism this time. Maybe we won't be able to see her on the live stream tomorrow." Someone posted, "Speaking of which, isn't the Vase Fairy going to make fried milk tomorrow morning? I want to see if it's delicious." This sentence resonated with many people. Actually, the Vase Fairy wouldn't be so annoying if she just cooked and didn't cause trouble. At this point, Xiangyi was equivalent to the chef in Two Under One Roof in the minds of the majority of netizens. While the scolding war was in full swing, a well-known music critic in the country suddenly posted on Weibo, "E.G. Grey Turtledove V. I haven't posted in a while. Many fans and friends are very concerned about my recent situation. I'll explain it here. A few days ago, my father was ill. Even after visiting all the famous doctors, there was still no way to save him. Now, I'm afraid he doesn't have much time left." He was a Sanxian teacher at a music academy in China. In recent years, fewer and fewer children were learning traditional music, and even fewer were learning Sanxian. Even when he was seriously ill, he still racked his brains, fearing that he would not be able to teach the last few disciples well. He was even more afraid that there would be no successor for this traditional skill. Today, he happened to hear Ms. Xiangyi V's Sanxian performance. He had been tortured by his illness for the past few days, and his mood had become increasingly irritable. He, who no longer had the will to live, listened to it calmly. He even asked me to replay it for him many times. He commented, "Pearls fall on a jade plate, strings whisper like whispers, listening to the wind and rain at night, iron horses and ice rivers come. I spent 1,000 days learning the pipa, 100 days learning the zither, and half a lifetime learning the Sanxian. I spent half a lifetime honing my skills, but I can't even compare to a young girl. It's lamentable, sad, but also gratifying. Congratulations. There's a successor for the Sanxian, and there's hope for the future of traditional music." Just now, he agreed to undergo Western medicine chemotherapy. "I'm full of emotions, but I don't know where to start. I'd like to express my gratitude to Ms. Xiangyi." As soon as this Weibo post was posted, the Shui sisters, who were still scolding her, fell silent. Chapter 56. Some people were indignant and thought that the blogger was just trying to ride on the hype, but when they clicked on his profile page, they were dumbfounded. He had millions of fans and was extremely loyal to his fans, with tens of thousands of comments. Although he was an internet celebrity, the annual awards for Best Music and Best Live Performance had a huge impact. His real name was Ban Hui, and he was an honorary professor at a prestigious school. He had even given public lectures at world-class music schools. In layman's terms, this gray turtledove was a big shot. He was a big shot in the music industry. The comments section immediately became lively. "Ha, a bunch of ignorant newbies. Did Teacher Ban's resume scare you? I suggest you search for Teacher Ban's father, Ban Jean. There's a surprise for you. I'm shocked. So this big shot is personally backing up Vase Fairy?" Most of the Shui sisters sensibly remained silent, but there was a small group of people who were too prejudiced against Xiangyi and refused to believe or acknowledge Xiangyi's excellence. "Her account must have been hacked. Do you really believe it? Interesting. She just picked up an instrument and played it a few times, and she's already bragging about it. How much money did Vase Fairy spend? I really don't think she's that good at playing. Although I don't know much about it, I think she's quite an amateur, she just plays a little too fast. I don't know much about 3-string or 4-string instruments. What's so great about folk music? If it's really that good, why do all the children go to learn the piano and violin? These comments were nothing compared to the level of arguments between fans. At least, they didn't ask about Xiangyi's mother. However, something unexpected happened. Grey Turtledove replied with more than a dozen comments. Her account wasn't hacked. Not a single cent was confiscated. Art is a skill. But it's only about skill, not art. Ms. Xiangyi's performance is smooth and natural. I think it's already at the level of art. It's one's freedom to learn Western instruments or folk instruments, but since you can recognize the excellence of Western instruments, why is it so difficult to admit that folk music is excellent? Immediately afterwards, the granddaughter of the famous three-string performance artist, Old G, also reposted on Weibo. My grandma asked me to ask if big sister Xiangyi V is interested in quitting the entertainment industry and coming to our school to be a music teacher. The pay will be good. The netizens who were on the front line of watching the drama quickly went to check the information. Although the Folk Music Academy under Old G's name wasn't big, it was the academy that folk music students in the country yearned for the most. The netizens gasped. After that, a certain Eru performing artist reposted a Weibo post to poach her. Young lady, I think you're good at Sanxian. Why don't you learn the Eru from me? Netizens. Take another sip. A Swona master reposted the post and teased. You might as well learn to play the Swona from me. If you can play it from the full moon to the 7th day of the lunar month, you won't have to worry about losing your job. The netizens. F*CK, I'm laughing so hard. After that, the official Weibo account of the Chinese Ethnic Music Association reposted the Weibo post with a stamp of praise. The young man is promising, and there is hope for his legacy. Today, the young man of China has a heart as bright as the sun. It would not be an exaggeration to say that the entire folk music industry was shaken by this display. The netizens. Did we misunderstand the vase fairy? Her real purpose for entering the entertainment industry was actually to help the national team players go to the countryside to help the poor? 1,000 words, 1,000 words, 1,000 words, 1,000 words, 1,000 words, 1,000 words. In the end, it all came down to one sentence. F*CK, awesome. Chapter 57. The next day. At 7:30 a.m., Li Jianyu rubbed his sleepy eyes and had a morning meeting with the production crew in the garden to discuss today's arrangements. They thought that they had woken up early enough, only to find that Xiangyi had appeared in front of them. Li Jianyu greeted her in a friendly manner. Good morning, Teacher Xiangyi. Are you going to train? Xiangyi gave him a strange look and said politely, Good morning. I'm done with my morning exercise. Everyone was speechless. Li Jianyu said, Running? We can do it together next time. I can run 5 kilometers too. As a director, the most important thing was his health. He also liked photography and it took a lot of strength to carry a heavy machine for an hour or two without moving. Xiangyi said, No, Tai Chi, I practice swordsmanship occasionally. Everyone was speechless. Is it the kind of Tai Chi and swordsmanship that old people in parks practice? Li Jianyu laughed dryly. Teacher Xiangyi, you're really in good health. Xiangyi asked, Are you hungry? Breakfast is ready. Huh? I made breakfast for you guys. Xiangyi looked at the time on her sports wristband. It's about time. The number of people is still the same as yesterday, right? There's enough food. Everyone was a little flattered and said politely, Teacher Xiangyi, you have to do a live broadcast during the day and cook for us too. That's too tiring. It's not tiring at all. The girl's tone was indifferent. It's just convenient. If you like it, eat more. If there's anything you want to eat, you can tell me in advance. She enjoyed the state of being fully immersed in cooking and her heart would calm down. It might be tiring for others, but for her, it was a hobby and she could also exercise. Why not? 5 minutes later. The crew of 2 Under One Roof ate breakfast in a daze. There was red bean and black rice porridge, fresh meat buns, vegetarian buns, and side dishes. There was also a pile of delicately wrapped wontons. If they wanted to eat, they could just cook it themselves. Paired with some seaweed and shrimps, it was so delicious that their tongues were about to fall off. No one spoke during the meal. They were all wolfing down such delicious food. Who would care about talking? After a while, burps could be heard one after another. Everyone looked at each other awkwardly. Cough, I'll go wash the dishes. Then I'll go help teacher Xiongyi sweep the floor. I'm going to clean the kitchen. Throw away the trash while you're at it. The corner of Li Jianyu's mouth twitched as he listened. None of you were so enthusiastic about work, and now you're all fighting for the job. You only know how to eat. Useless. Well, I'll eat another bowl of wontons. Just one bowl. There was really only one bowl. 2 Under One Roof's official Weibo account announced that the live stream would officially begin at 9:00 p.m. When the production team of Heartbeat saw this news, they were stunned and brought forward the originally scheduled time. We'll start at 8:30. Director Chen's eyes were sinister. No matter what, we're going to beat 2 Under One Roof today. Wasn't it just cooking? Is Qin Wanyan ready? Good night. Chapter 58. Teacher Qin is ready. She'll make egg and ham sandwiches and hand-brewed coffee later. The assistant's tone was careful and flattering. This is a menu that has been finalized after repeated research. The image is very exquisite, definitely more advanced than Xiongyi's stir-fry and earth-pot stew. Director Chen's expression softened and he sneered. Li Jianyu is just a country bumpkin. He didn't grasp the main point of the netizens at all. If you want to see someone cook, you might as well watch a food show. What everyone wants to see are celebrities. He made it look like a farmhouse. Such a waste of such a good venue. Pigs really can't eat fine chaff. Yes, you're right, Director Chen. 8:30 a.m. Muyao TV was good at marketing, and they had hired all sorts of celebrities. Their fans were all waiting. As soon as the time was up, all the live stream rooms were filled with people who began to control the comments. Protecting the best in the world, Jiang Chen, Wu Li, Immortal Qin, let's go. It must have been hard for you to land in the mortal world today. I'm the Crown Princess. I recommend Fu Jiayan's Royal Road. The Crown Prince is so good. Everyone, please get to know the salty and sweet gymnast, Yu Miao Miao. The 4 celebrities greeted everyone briefly. The handsome men and beautiful women were all online. Coupled with Muyao TV's excellent equipment and lighting, the live stream was particularly high definition and the audio was very clear. It was a feast for the eyes and ears. The fans were so excited that they began to tip them wildly. 5 minutes into the broadcast, Jiang Chen's personal live stream room was ranked first in terms of the number of people online and the amount of heartbeat points contributed by fans. He was followed by Fu Jiayan, Qin Wanyan, and Yu Miao Miao. Then, Qin Wanyan asked if everyone had eaten breakfast. The other 3 said they hadn't. Qin Wanyan looked at the camera and brushed her hair. She smiled gently and said, "Then I'll make something for everyone to eat." The live comments, "Wow, our immortal Qin can cook." Although the kitchen of Heartbeat was not as professional as that of 2 Under One Roof, it was spacious and bright. The simple modern design made it look very classy. Qin Wanyan could indeed cook. Her ancestors were imperial chefs, and her uncle even opened a famous chain of gourmet restaurants in the country. She had studied abroad since she was a child and had gradually gotten used to Western food. She didn't know how to cook Chinese food, but she was good at Western food. The eggs and ham were fried in a delicate, retro pan, and the toast was baked in a toaster. Then, a thick layer of tomato sauce was placed on top of the toaster. Then, the vegetables, eggs, and ham were added, and an egg and ham sandwich was ready. Then, Qin Wanyan slowly brewed a cup of coffee. She ground the coffee beans into powder and placed it on a filter paper. Her fair and slender fingers picked up the flask and poured water into it. The scene was elegant and noble. Qin Wanyan gently taught everyone how to make coffee. The coffee powder must be ground to a uniform thickness. Also, according to the characteristics of the different coffee beans, the water temperature must be adjusted accordingly. Generally, it should be controlled at 85 to 95 degrees Celsius. The fans in the live broadcast room were enjoying it. They felt that their idols were interacting with them, as if they were participating in it. Immortal Qin is too gentle, smart, skillful, and patient. The sandwiches and coffee are so beautifully made. You'll definitely look great if you take a picture and post it on your WeChat moments. Didn't the short video of the vase fairy cooking go viral yesterday? I clicked on it and felt that her cooking skills were alright. It's just that she's too cold. How can she compare to our immortal Qin? However, the passers-by and netizens in the main live stream room slowly typed a question mark. It's beautiful, but are you sure it's delicious? Chapter 59. I think I'd rather eat a hamburger from a certain Kaifeng dish than eat that sandwich. Is she trying to compare herself to the vase fairy? There's a saying that although the vase fairy is annoying, her cooking is still quite appetizing. This Qin Wanyan's cooking is... Director Chen was staring at his phone all the time. When he saw the comments from the netizens, he simply couldn't understand. In particular, someone posted, "Two under one roof is starting to fry milk. Friends, I'll take my leave first." Whoosh. The number of viewers in the live stream began to decrease visibly. Director Chen's eyes widened in disbelief. How could this be? He clicked on Two Under One Roof's live stream. The live stream had just begun, but the number of viewers was no less than that of Heartbeat. Director Chen's heart skipped a beat. He seemed to have underestimated the popularity of Two Under One Roof. The milk cake had been prepared by Xiongyi in advance. It was mixed with corn flour, fresh milk, salt, and sugar to taste. After simmering, it was placed in the refrigerator to be frozen. The girl was still barefaced. Her expression was calm and her temperament was calm, as if no noise in the world could affect her focus on the ingredients in front of her. The tender white and delicate milk cake was dipped in flour, baking powder, MSG, and other crispy paste, forming a perfect parabola as it fell into the pan of oil and swam happily. Xiongyi's movements were swift, and it didn't take long for the pot to be ready. After scooping it out, she sprinkled some white sugar on it. Li Jianyu picked one up, and the cameraman, old Li, knowingly gave it a close-up. The surface of the milk cake was a light golden yellow, fragrant and delicate. With a click, he broke it open. The custard in the core was soft and tender, and when he pinched the crispy outside, the custard inside would shake gently and become bouncy. The comments in the live stream, I want to eat it. I can smell the aroma through the screen. The cake is so cute, how can you pinch it? Just one plate? As a milk lover, I feel like I can eat a whole basin of it alone. After washing up, the first thing Yan Nai did was to go to the kitchen. The young man's hair had been messed up all night and had become a bird's nest. He leaned over to Xiongyi. "Sis, is it done?" Xiongyi blocked the camera for him. Children with messy hair can't eat breakfast. In yesterday's chat, Director Yan's words revealed that he wanted Yan Nai to enter the entertainment industry. She didn't care, but her beautiful brother still had to pay attention to his image in front of the camera. She didn't want someone to take an ugly photo of him and use it against him. Yan Nai froze for a moment, then shyly scratched his head. I don't know how to do my hair. Yesterday, it was the brother from the barber shop downstairs who helped me blow dry it. Xiongyi thought for a moment. Go look for Nan. He's quite good at doing hair. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Yan Nai turned around. His mouth was suddenly stuffed with fried milk, accompanied by the girl's gentle coaxing. Obedient children will be rewarded. Xiao. Yan Nai even forgot to chew. The redness spread from the tip of his ears all the way to his neck. She fed me. Does she like me? The young man blushed and his heart raced because of his imagination. He ran out of the kitchen and bumped into a slender figure. It was Shi Sui. The man had changed into a casual sports outfit today. He was wearing a white hoodie and blue jeans, looking fresh and clean like a student. "Watch where you're going," he reminded. Yen Nai looked around. Seeing that there were no cameramen, he carefully and happily said, "Uncle, big sister is feeding me." Chapter 60. The handsome man's expression didn't change as he raised his eyebrows. His peach blossom eyes seemed to be smiling, making him look like a sly old fox. "Is it delicious?" The innocent young boy said shyly, "I ate it too quickly and swallowed it before I tasted it." Shi Sui's maturity and calmness made him subconsciously feel that he was someone worth trusting and confiding in. "I think my sister is so gentle. She blocked the camera for me and even let me go to her manager to get my hair done." Shi Sui smiled and patted his head. Yen Nai smiled foolishly. "Uncle, you're very gentle too." Shi Sui smiled kindly. "Uncle? Do I look old?" "Huh. Tisk, you're already an uncle at the age of 27. Next year, you'll be called Grandpa." Shi Sui sighed. Yen Nai quickly waved his hand. No, uncle, you're not old at all." No, brother. Brother Shi Sui." A certain fox didn't feel guilty at all for tricking a child and said gently, "Go get your hair done. Make it more handsome so you'll look better on camera." "Okay, thank you, uncle." "Brother." Yen Nai wasn't sure if it was an illusion, but he felt that after he called him brother, Shi Sui's gaze inexplicably became much kinder. Shi Sui entered the kitchen and the camera immediately pointed at him. The man had a good sense of the camera and smiled slightly. "Good morning." The comment section of the live stream instantly exploded. "Good morning, brother." "Good morning, hubby." Those who call him hubby, please have some self-respect. This is my man, okay? Dog head. Shungi looked back and met the man's gaze. "Good morning." Shi Sui's smile deepened. "Morning." Shi Sui walked over with his long legs. "Do you need help?" "No, the food is ready. There's fried milk, fresh meat wontons, and vegetables. I'm going to squeeze some juice for the child. Senior, what would you like to drink?" Shi Sui helped her put the breakfast on a wooden tray. He was familiar with it and didn't put on airs at all. "Can I still order without a little red flour?" Xiangyi was slightly startled. Only then did she remember what she had said to Shi Sui yesterday. "Collect 5 flowers and you can order dishes." She chuckled. She didn't expect Shi Sui to take her words seriously. "Senior can have special privileges." Shi Sui. "Coffee then?" Xiangyi nodded. "Okay, I'll squeeze the juice first." Shi Sui lowered her eyelids and took the initiative to serve breakfast. "Squeeze some juice for Yen Nai first." He said that he had special privileges, but the priority was given to someone else. He was very unhappy. In the Heartbeat live stream room, Qin Wanyan finished making breakfast. The live broadcast room was filled with question marks, because she had only made one sandwich. "What's going on? Don't tell me the 4 adults are only eating this one piece?" The 4 of them each cut a piece and drank a small cup of coffee before finishing their breakfast. Yu Miao Miao only ate 2/3 of her piece before putting it down. She said apologetically, "I'm going to start filming soon. The director told me to lose weight." Although she was a gymnast, Yu Miao Miao was already semi-retired. Currently, her main focus was on the entertainment industry. Jiang Chen had a cold personality, but he was very diligent. After eating, he took the initiative to wash the dishes. Fu Jian was a better person. He praised Qin Wanyan's breakfast to the skies. "Wanyan's cooking is amazing. As expected of someone who studied abroad. It feels like we're on vacation by the Seine River." The live comments. "Is this the true appetite of a celebrity? Let's not talk about the female celebrity, but 2 grown men eat this much for breakfast? Extra." It's time to eat next door. There's fried milk, juice, and the wontons are filled with fresh meat. Asterisk recommended tickets and arranged to go to Liao. There's one more update. It'll be late, so I'll say goodnight in advance. Chapter 61. All of a sudden, the netizens in Heartbeat Bar's livestream began to waver. On one side was a bland and tasteless sandwich, on the other side was a crispy and golden fried milk. On one side was a bitter black coffee, on the other was a sweet and refreshing new fruit juice. F***CK. Only children could choose. Of course, adults would choose to watch it on their phones and tablets. Countless netizens happily made their decisions. In two under one roof's livestream. The fried milk was crispy on the outside and fragrant on the inside. It was crunchy on the inside and melted in the next second. It had a numbing and beautiful texture. He finished one in 2 or 3 bites. If he had eaten too much, he could use his chopsticks to get rid of the grease. The steaming wontons were round and the soup base was chicken soup. The oil was skimmed off and a small handful of shrimp skin and seaweed were sprinkled on top. It was extremely delicious. The fruit juice was the simplest orange juice with a little honey seasoning. Served in a transparent glass, it was beautiful and delicious. Even though he repeatedly told himself not to eat too much for breakfast, Yen Zhenhua still ate until he was full. With a full stomach, he began to fantasize about the beautiful scene after Xiangyi married Yen Nai. Sasuke, I probably won't be able to lose weight in the future. Yen Nai couldn't stop eating either. The young boy ate 2 full bowls of wontons and the tip of his nose was sweating. The live comments, "This is what I call eating. It smells so good. I feel like Ms. Xiangyi's culinary skills don't need to be praised at all. Look at director Yen and her brother's bowls, they're so clean." 23333. Why isn't Shengdi eating? Is it not to his liking? Shui doesn't like to eat breakfast. It's an old problem. If he eats too much, he'll feel nauseous. His fans have been heartbroken for many years. Someone also complained, isn't the vase fairy going to make coffee? Qin Wanyan made hand-brewed coffee. She's not going to make instant coffee to send Shengdi away, is she? As soon as this comment floated past, the camera in the main livestream cut to the villa. The room was slightly smaller than the kitchen, but it had a water heater, coffee machine, bean grinder, refrigerator, and other equipment. F***CK? So professional. Hee, does the vase fairy know how to use such high-end equipment? Can she afford to pay for it? Xiang Yi's expression was calm as she calmly ground the coffee beans. Then, she poured the coffee powder into the silver handle of the machine and extracted the brown coffee liquid. Qin Wanyan's fans, who had rushed over after hearing the news, were dumbfounded. Why the F***CK are their professional machines? Substituting a King of Glory to play a bronze game would result in a ban. A fan said stubbornly, our goddess Qin did it by hand. That's real skill. The vase fairy did it automatically with a machine. How can they be compared? Who knows whose face hurts the most? Just as the bullet screen floated past, Xiangyi began to pump milk. She easily used the steam tube to make the milk bubbles, and the girl poured the milk bubbles into the coffee cup with her slender white hands. She shook her wrist up and down, and in the blink of an eye, she turned into a lifelike kitten. All the netizens. It feels like she's just casually pulling flowers. You call that an amateur? Go to a coffee shop and see if someone can pull it out for you. You'll know. Hey, I'll return this to a certain fan. Is there even a comparison? Who knows whose face hurts the most? Qin Wanyan's fans suddenly felt a burning pain in their faces. Good night, world. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.